Welcome to TBT. I'm Elise Jesse, standing by with Frank Pollack, the offensive line coach, run game coordinator. How has training camp been going for you so far?
It's going well. We're getting a lot of things accomplished. You know, we're coming down the end, so we still got some things we're trying to iron out and get better at and add to the mix here. But I like how the guys are working and kind of where we're at right now throughout this phase of training camp.
Some might disagree with me, but in my opinion, outside of the quarterback, I think that the guys in the offensive line, that might be the most important position, especially protecting the face of the franchise. Are you ever happy with how your pass protection looks?
Never. I mean, you always want to be perfect, and maybe someday we'll reach perfection, but you can never be satisfied. You're either getting better or getting worse. So that's kind of our mindset, always looking to improve in those areas, any little inch we can gain. But guys are working hard at it, and we're heading in the right direction.
The cut deadline, August 29th. You've got 15 guys in your position group right now. You've got how many can you keep? How many guys are you able to keep at your position?
Well, I'm sure that's going to be flush out here in the next week, but that could vary really depending on how you want to build a roster. There's a lot more things that are at play here with the head coach and Duke and his crew making those final decisions with the head ball coach and the ownership, of course. So, it could be, who knows, anywhere. I've been anywhere from 8 to 12 and a combination of active and practice squad. So whatever they decide we need to fill out our roster, that's what we got to do and move forward.
Jonah Williams flips from left tackle to right tackle. What do you think of his progress and just how he's approached that change overall?
He's had a great attitude approaching that change. He's done a really nice job. It's been a smooth transition for him. He's still ironing out some of his fits and his strikes and protection and some of the counter moves that come off of that. But I've been really impressed with how he's handled it from a mental standpoint and how he's gone out about his business. And he's showing a lot of good things. This last week when he played, he did not look out of form going over to the right side in game speed and playing against Atlanta starters. So I'm really pleased with his progress. My hat's off to him. He clearly worked at it while he rehabbed his knee. So that shows you what kind of a pro he is, and really excited to be coaching him and excited where his progress is at.
He makes it look sort of easy, it's sounding like. Will you just describe for people who have never played the position how difficult it is to make that change?
It's difficult because you're flipping your power leg, your anchor leg is going from from his, which was his right, now it's his left, and the same thing with his dominant hand, it's his inside hand. So it went from his right to his left, and then some of his counters and finishes that we teach, everything's backwards in that regard. So he's done a nice job getting used to that, and that's the challenge with the other guys who are in a backup role, being able to do flip-flop and handle that on both sides. So that's the challenge, but for a guy like him, he's been on one side for a little bit of a while now in his career, so he's made it look seamless. It's not easy, and we're still sharpening the sword, if you will, over there on the right side. So he's done a nice job. I've been thoroughly impressed by him.
And I don't know if you heard, but on Monday, Joe Mixon said that he expects Cordell Volson to be a future Hall of Famer. What's your take on that?
Well, he's a Hall of Fame person. I know that. He's got the right attitude for it. But in his second year, that's a pretty big, lofty statement. I wouldn't be surprised though, because that's how he approaches the game. He's got huge expectations for himself, and that's really quite praise coming from one of his teammates, especially a running back. But I would not be surprised at the end of his long career if he were to end up there. But he knows he's still working on sharpening his tools as well. But that's pretty nice confidence that Joe Mixon showed in him. I've got the same confidence in him as well.
I love it. And I noticed, Volson looks different coming back this year. He looks trimmer, I guess. Has he put on more muscle? What's going on with that?
He put on more muscle and lost fat. I need to get with his programs.
What program is this?
I know, it's impressive. I think he came back, measured out the leanest in the O-line room and put on about, I want to say, 10 pounds. And he's the lightest or the lowest body fat percentage right now in the O-line. So he's pretty impressive. So again, like I said, he's got the right mindset mentally. So he went out and tacked the offseason. A lot of rookies come in the league with what I like to call a little baby fat, living the college life, and they kind of phase that out and become a little bit more hardened as he get older as a professional. But he came in pretty good his rookie year and even got better his second year. So, you know, it just shows you where his mindset is at right now and where he wants to take his game. So,
as the run game coordinator, how much time do you spend with the running backs, making sure that everyone is on the same page on game day?
Yeah, well, you know, I spend a lot of time with Justin. Justin Hill, the running back coach, does a great job with those guys, and we talk a lot. And as we meet and watch practice, we'll talk about tracks and what I think he should see in his cut. He says the same thing, or if he says something different, he sees it differently. We talk to make sure we both get together on the same page. So really, it's been a lot of fun with our whole offensive staff. It's really very collaborative, especially now since we're doing a lot more of the RPO world. So we're really bringing in a lot more other position groups into the run game, making sure that's, you know, very synced. But it's just definitely the most symbiotic from an O-line relationship to everyone else. It used to be just with the back. Now it's more coordinated with the receivers and the quarterback as well because of that system. So it's needed a little bit more of a collaboration effort, and guys have been great. And Justin Hill's been fantastic. And, you know, I'll chime in with the backs out of practice. We do meet during the season on Wednesdays, usually after practice, to watch practice and talk about, this is what I expect the looks to be like. What do you expect your cut? Here's the practice rep you got. Here it is in the game, the exact look that we scripted for you. Sometimes the look was perfect. Sometimes it wasn't quite right. Here's what it should look like. This is how we're blocking it, what you can expect from us. Those guys have been on point. I mentioned to Joe Mixon today. He's been outstanding, understanding our angles of departure and what we're trying to do from blocking schemes up front to be able to attack where the hole is going to be even faster before it actually happens. Before we leave the first level or second level fit, he's already cutting off that second level block. It's been really good, so it's been excited to see. And in fact, Justin and I were talking about that the other day, so I was getting goosebumps talking about it with him because it's been really well oiled so far. And in practice, we got to carry that obviously forward in the season, so the teams give us a little different look. So
I got two more questions for you. I'm sweating. You might be sweating, but I certainly am. It's hot out here. As far as the run game, I think you told Dave Lapham, I was listening to an interview that you did with him, and you're talking about wanting to see more of physicality in the run game. Are you seeing that since that interview?
Yeah, we're seeing flashes of it. I want to see more of it on a consistent basis. I want to see guys have a little bit more of a nastier finish mindset. Obviously, we don't want to finish guys to the ground in practice, but when we get an opportunity in games, we want to do that. So flipping that switch and finishing all the way to the whistle or the echo to the whistle and pushing these guys to keep pushing themselves and each other to do that. But, I mean, the run game, at the end of the day, a lot of it's want to and an attitude. And we just need to keep pushing on the envelope. So that's the name of the game and when you're running the rock. So that's the fun stuff.
Last question for you. I feel like I've been around the game long enough to know that you guys work in insane hours, sometimes 15, 17-hour days. How much of a motivator is it to want to win that Super Bowl and ultimately claim that prize, I guess, at the end of the year?
The greatest motivator that you can have in pro football for anyone in the building is what I call peer pressure, not wanting to let the guy next to you down, whether that's a coach to a coach to a player to a player, a player to a coach, coaches to administration, ownership and personnel, and those guys down from the first, second level, third level down into the locker room. So we have that kind of an organizational culture. Obviously that starts with ownership and the head coach. Done a fantastic job. And when you've got that, that's the ultimate motivation. You got a chance to have some good success. And I'm motivated by that. I don't want to be that guy that let my fellow coach down or any of the players down. And I know they've got the same approach and mindset. So that's when you got a chance, you got something good when you're motivated by that. And we have that kind of culture and team, and that's because of our head coach and ownership.
Frank, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.